Hello.
Hello.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Hello. How are
All
you
right.
guys?
Hello.
Doing well. Jillian, this is Sarah. Sarah, this is Jillian.
Hi,
So
Sarah.
Sarah's our lead DMer. She is going to be like kind of like the one in charge, basically, and then I'll be floating in space, hanging out with y'all. But Jillian is coming on. Sarah, beautiful, perfect. How's your day going? How's the week been?
Chaotic, but it's good. With a little baby, it's good.
How old
Oh,
is she?
yeah.
She's almost a year now, so her birthday's next month.
Beautiful. Love that.
All right. We got
Right.
lots of babies in there. I
I
feel real
know.
old.
Lots of mamas on the team for sure. Pretty much everyone except for Justin.
Everybody except for Justin, and everybody has 3 year younger except for me. My youngest is 6, about to be 7. So,
Aw.
New Sarah too. Her kids are a little bit older, right?
yeah, you know what? I think hers are 10 and 14. So yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Lots of
Very
things,
cool.
though. So today will be pretty easy. I just want to go over just like general expectation, general overview of the role, how it's all going to work. With the DM role specifically, it is so much easier to just like train in the accounts. So it's going to make much more sense to like teach you while you're in there than just say, here's how you do everything, and then go
Yeah.
into it and be like, great. But this one will be pretty simple, and then we'll schedule just kind of like in the DM training. So we'll hopefully have you like fully trained over the next 2 weeks. But you'll be working as you train on an account and get comfortable. Then you'll start those shifts on that account while you learn the others. That way you're working
Gotcha.
to develop.
Okay.
Yeah. We're not going to just have you like fully trained on all accounts, not actually like, making any money.
Practicing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, let me share my screen and we'll jump into the easy peasy stuff. Bear with me, y'all. I've been on meetings for like 5 hours. I don't know what way is up or down. So
I understand.
beautiful. So new training. You got fully, I think Sabrina got you fully onboarded, right? She got you access to everything.
hmm
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
perfect. Overall, we're just going to review mission statement, chain of command, expectations for meetings and things like that. Should be pretty easy. All right, you are good, Sarah. So starting out, I know some of this will be just a little bit of a reminder from your interview, but mission statement, pretty straightforward. We exist to help entrepreneurs reach their full potential by starting and scaling online coaching businesses. So if it doesn't do that, support that, encourage that, it's not something that we're going to do. So the tenets, truth first, act first, mission first, just reminders there. We live, breathe, sleep, eat the tenants. So you will hear them used most of the day, every day. We hype people up like way to be truth first, way to be act first, way to be mission first. And vice versa. Like, hey, in truth first, it's essentially being able to give and provide feedback. And be able to take feedback as well. So we want you to just feel comfortable speaking your truth, taking action, and looking at the business from multiple lenses. So mission first is, being able to look at through the lens of, is this best for the business, but also is this best for the team, and is this best for our clients? So we look at kind of our decisions through 3 lenses and just making sure that they all align as closely as possible. Alrighty, chain of command. We'll just go through like our little section here because you'll eventually get to know the entire team. You got me. I am overseeing both departments. So I do oversee the closers and the DMers. Sarah is your lead, so she will be a really good point of contact for questions, for learning, for more training. She's going to be your go-to for sure for a lot of things. Alyssa, Laura, Hannah, and Aubrey are all pretty seasoned. They've been in the accounts for a while. They are great people to go to for questions. Sarah, truth first, is about 30 days into her time with us, so she's still learning too. So, you can definitely ask her questions, but yes, you guys will work together. So she may not have all the answers just yet. Justin is Chad's brother. He would be a good person to ask questions to, but he pretty much only works later night, so he's not going to be something that's super active during the day. So he might not be an immediate point of contact most of the time.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. Closing side of things, Joey's our lead closer. So if you ever have questions about any of your leads or something like that, Joey's a great person to go to as well. You'll get to know everybody as well. Jeremy and Drew have been with us for a while. Jesse is leaving the end of this month, and we have a new closer coming in to replace him, Joe. So Joe will probably not be a good person to ask questions to because his day 1 is today as well. So he's learning with you. But this will be kind of like our little department. Chad will have a heavy hand in everything. He is very vocal. He is always showing up in the chat, so you will see him a lot of the time too. And then like Kimmy and Sabrina will probably be your two main operations assistants.
Okay.
Ruth first, Kimmy and Sabrina hold this place together. They are the glue for sure. So any questions about like payroll, that is Sabrina and Kimmy. Any questions about like admin work, back-end systems, free resources, anything that's put together behind the scenes, those are your ladies for sure.
Okay.
Help you out.
Okay.
They are the glue. That is facts. Awesome.
And at any point, even if it's a crazy question or you think it's a crazy question, ask questions in the DMer chat. Somebody from any of those people just named will get back to you with a response at any time.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that, just keeping my eyes on the chat, what's going on. I know half the time I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but everybody is so responsive. So
yes, we are very, very communicative. I'm in both chats. Joey's not in the DMer chat, but Sarah is, Kimmy is, Sabrina is, Chad, Paige. No one over here, but there's a lot of people in the chats. So someone knows the answer to whatever you're asking, they will answer. So meeting expectations, they are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 11 Central, your Central time. Why do I keep forgetting that? Central.
I'm in Florida, so everybody assumes that it's Eastern, but
that's right. Yep. Jacksonville, Tallahassee, where are you at?
Pensacola, right outside of Pensacola. So it's like all the way up by Alabama almost.
Yes. That's probably why I thought it was Eastern, because I moved from Florida to Texas and I'm like, Florida's Eastern, but that little panhandle part is not. Beautiful. So meeting expectations, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, noon Eastern, 11 Central. We just had this conversation, Jess. Expectations on that. We do always start with wins. So if you can come with, some wins, they can be personal, professional, just something like fun, exciting you have going on. You don't have to share every single day, but we do want to come with like some good energy, some good vibes, start off like that. Be on time, cameras on, participation. That's a huge one. We don't want you to just sit in the quiet in the dark and, stare off into space. Like, let's communicate, let's participate. Know your projections, which we'll get into as you go, but you'll have like a little projection sheet that kind of outlines, how many hours you've worked, how many calls you've booked, how many calls of yours have closed, easy things like that. So just making sure you have those up to date and they're ready to rock. Easy peasy.
Okay.
Expectations for the chat. So I think you're in all the chats now. I think good, beautiful. So the full sales team chat, I'm sure you've seen, that is everybody. That's the closers, that's the DM team, that's Chad, Paige, the operations. That is basically monitoring calls booked and calls closed. So expectation, did you see all the bells going off?
Yeah, is that when everybody books something?
Yeah. So in the full sales team, I know you saw like the leaderboard, there's like 1 out of 12, 3 out of 12, like 2 out of 3, those. So the DMer's goal is to book 12 calls every day. So your whole team goal, not individually, your whole team goal is to book 12 calls. So if you book a call, what we do is we ring the bell and we put the name. So put the little bell emoji, Jillian, and not your name, but the name of the person you booked. And then you would change the leaderboard to the next number. So if it's 0 out of 12 and you book the first one of the day, ring the bell, change it to 1 out of 12. The closers are trying to close 3 calls a day. So they do the same thing. They'll ring the bell, put the name of the person they just closed, and then they change like the 0 out of 3 to 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3. So anytime it's a new booking, you'll ring the bell and change that number. If you got someone rescheduled, you could ring the bell, but it's going to be a reschedule bell. So it's not going to count to our new booking goal of 12 because they were already scheduled before. They're just getting back on the books. You'll see a couple other bells in there too, but if one of the VAs books someone for a re-sign call because they're about to expire and they're eligible for re-sign, they'll ring a re-sign bell and they'll add the 1 re-sign, things like that. But the biggest thing we're tracking is new calls booked and new calls closed.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
Yes.
And when you're in the accounts, it's because we have somebody who works this shift and then they get off at noon and then somebody else jumps in from noon to 6 and then someone's in there again from 6 to 8. It's collective 12 bookings. So if you're in there, we're not just focusing on our own specific bookings. We're trying to get everybody's bookings booked.
Yeah.
So if you ring a bell, you're ringing a bell for a booking. It doesn't matter whose booking it is.
Yeah.
And we can help you with the triage, re-sign, all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll get a couple random bells that you're like, what are they ringing bells for? That makes no sense.
I'll figure it out eventually.
Yeah, anytime we essentially get someone back on for something or on for something, there's a bell involved. The two biggest ones will just be new calls and new closes.
Okay.
Cool. Celebrations. This is a big one. We are all about energy, communication, keeping like the excitement up. We don't want work to feel like, pardon my French, but just like shitty and dry. And we want to have fun. So if you book a call, we want everyone to like hype you up and give you that excitement. If someone closes, like, awesome job, Joey, awesome job, Jesse, like, way to go. We want that energy for call bookings and closes, just to support each other and hype each other up, essentially.
Yeah, I love that.
And sharing wins. I mean, you could just pop in there and just be like, hey, I just booked this person and they're awesome and I can't wait for their call. And, Joey, they're going to, they're working on X, Y, and Z. You can say, hey guys, just wanted to share. Like Alyssa today, she's like, my baby slept through the night last night, or Hannah, my baby slept through the night last night and it was fantastic and I feel rested. Like, that's awesome. Like, they don't have to be business specific. We do want to feel like a community, like a team.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So that'll be the full sales team. The DMer chat, really just, any challenges you're seeing throughout the day, any questions that you have. I know you've probably seen those, like, hey, what should I say to this person? I don't really know how to respond. Bring it in. We all want to kind of like collaborate on that. You can always tag Sarah if you have like a specific question, or tag myself. But usually if you drop something and everyone's going to see it and everyone can kind of powwow, it could be any questions, any challenges, anything you're struggling with, drop them in. We encourage questions. I'd rather you ask the same question 100 times than never ask it and make the mistake 100 times and it's wrong.
Yeah.
Rather communicate.
And I'm the type of person to ask little questions a million different times to be like, am I doing this right? So yeah, I was excited to see that that's kind of how it seemed in the chat so far.
100%. Ask questions for sure. And then end of the day reports. You might have saw that last night, but at the end of your shift, it doesn't have to be end of the day, but at the end of your shift or whenever you work, we just have a little report that's like, okay, I worked X amount of hours. I was able to book these calls. The accounts were, really slow in the beginning. They picked up, and then these are the challenges I was seeing, which is kind of like a little pulse check of like, what are we seeing in the accounts? What were you able to do? What did you personally struggle with or do well with? Just to kind of, keep on top of everything together.
Yeah.
Beautiful. The community chat. So the team chat's not on here. I'm gonna add that one. The community chat is going to be basically like a free Facebook group, but in a WhatsApp format. So our community chat is a forum where anyone can come and ask questions. Maybe they're in our ecosystem, maybe they're booked for a call, maybe they haven't been booked for a call, maybe they saw the chat on an ad and they're interested in starting a business. Could be for a lot of different things. The expectation for that chat is that we're kind of just keeping the energy alive. We're keeping the conversations going there. When you get trained on that account, we'll dive into like more how to do everything, but we will be able to prospect from that account. Some people are booked and that's why they're in that chat. Some people are joining because they found it somewhere. So we will be able to prospect through that account as well and find new leads who maybe haven't been booked. You'll learn that process, but that'll be the expectation.
Okay, gotcha. Because I was wondering, because I had just answered somebody's question in there and she asked a follow-up and I wasn't really sure like how much information like gets divulged.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, as much as you want.
Like,
yeah, as much as you want. I'll look at that question too and see like, how you want to navigate it. But feel free to prospect in there when you're working that account. I will say, like, we just started running ads to that account, so it is going to grow pretty quickly over the next, I would say, couple of weeks of us now running ads there. So challenges will be, and as a DMer, you have this permission, but making sure we're not getting any spam accounts in there. We're not getting any weirdos. We haven't really had any issues. Like maybe, I think we've blocked one or two people maybe in the last couple months, but knock on wood, we're doing okay. But if you do see like any inappropriate content or spam accounts, things like that, you do have the ability to block them. If there's anything inappropriate or you can tell is like spam, block them. If there's anything you're kind of like questioning, tag me or tag Sarah, we can probably figure it out, but monitor the weirdos. And then just keeping up with questions. So perfect. The team chat is more so for announcements and like team engagement. So you are probably in like the full team chat. That's where I think Sabrina did the announcement for you. That's everybody. That's all the coaches. That's the marketing staff. That's the sales staff. That's everybody in the company that works for us in that chat. So if you ever want to like share something with everyone, or maybe you have a good client win that comes to you in the DMs, or really anything that you want everyone to hear, put it in the team chat. And then we will often use that chat for like any like brainstorming, any announcements. A lot of times Chad's like, hey, help me come up with an idea for this, or I want to do something like this. What could we do? He'll drop it in the team chat so everyone can kind of collaborate on things. So you won't use that chat, I would say, as often, but you will probably use the DMer chat and the full sales team chat the most for sure.
Okay.
Cool. Questions on these?
Mm-mm.
Beautiful. Wait. Product education, this is the easy part. You have been through NLCA, so you at least relatively know what we do, which is great. Presentation, I'm going to kind of keep pretty brief. But overview, when were you in 2021? Has it been that long?
Yeah.
Hey. When it was apprentice and mastery, right?
Yeah, I just did the, yes,
Apprentice.
I just did the apprenticeship, obviously, but
yeah. So some tweaks have been made and more tweaks are happening. So I'll explain that here in a second. But we have like a presentation now. You won't go through any of this. The closers go through this, but essentially our product suite is changing. Certified coach and master coach are where we're at currently, but that is changing literally next week. So our old apprentice program is now what we call certified, and we combined apprentice, master, accelerator, and the beginner parts of master coach to make certified coach. It's a 6-month program, but it's really, we found that it's kind of too long for people. So we are reverting back to a 4-month program. So moving forward, it'll be called 10K Accelerator. That hasn't changed here, but it's going to be a 0 to 10K program, 10K plus for Master Coach. So not a ton of differentiation there. The 10K Accelerator program is still for our newer coaches, either aspiring or new to the online space. That ideal demographic has not changed. The goal would be to get those students to 10K a month. Master Coach will be for our students who have a consistent, successful coaching business that are looking to continue scaling, hiring, delegating, things like that. So that hasn't changed. The level of support has, I've been having issues with this all day today. The level of support has changed though. So currently, and this is not something you'll really talk that much about in the DMs, but it is good for you to know in case anybody asks.
Okay.
This is really fun. I love this for us. I'm going to tell you because I know them. So support for 10K Accelerator / certified coach. All of our students now get a one-on-one business coach that they meet with. So it's not just here's your coaches, book a call whenever you want. Sporadically, you have an assigned one-on-one coach that you meet with bi-weekly. You have text support now. So they'll have 24-hour access to their coach Monday through Friday. They can text them anytime. They'll have specific game planning calls now moving into their program that are set up a little bit differently than the onboarding calls before. So a little bit more in depth, which is great. They have full course curriculum. What else? We're bringing on a sales coach. So they'll have bi-weekly meetings with a sales coach now. So they'll have every other week, they'll meet with their one-on-one coach, and those opposite weeks, they'll meet with a sales coach. We are certified, or we have a certification now. So we have a nutrition and training certification that is accredited through ACE and ISSA that our students will get as part of their journey. So if somebody's brand new, they'll get that certification with us. So they don't have to seek out anywhere for that. And then they have the business curriculum too. So a little bit more support than, a couple years
before.
ago.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Master coach is just a different level of humans. They have, the support hasn't changed too much there, but the structure of support has changed. So one-on-one coach every week, sales coach bi-weekly, group support calls. I missed that, but there's 5 days a week of group support calls now for 10K Accelerator. There's 4 for Master Coach. So tons of support, lots of fun, good times. So beautiful. Here we go. Going through the Facebook group, I think we'll wait until you're in the Facebook group to go through that. So Sarah, I'm just gonna nix going through the Facebook group until you train her in the Facebook group. I just think it's easier to do that. Pricing of the program has also changed just a little bit. So pricing for, I'm just going to tell you 10K Accelerator because it's going to change. So 10K Accelerator is $7K on a payment plan, $200 on a pay in full. So it saves you a little bit of money to pay in full. Pricing hasn't changed drastically, I don't think. We've kind of gone up and down a little bit, but it's always stayed between $5,000 to $9,000, I feel like, depending on what the program is spent. Yeah. So 7K payment plan, $6,200 pay in full. You won't need to pitch that because you're never going to tell anyone that because I need to, but it's something else that's new, which is great, is that we now have 3 different financing companies to help our students find financial support. So PayPal credit's always been one. but we have a company we work with called SweetPay, and we have a company called Fund My Contract. So SweetPay will give our students payment plans between 1 to 5 years, and then Fund My Contract gives them a whole pay in full. They only work pay in full discount, so they'll be able to take that 6,200, pay it in full, and then they'll pick a repayment option of 1 to 7 years. With options to have 0 interest on that loan if they pay it off between 6 to 12 months, which is nice. So a lot of financing options.
Cool.
Helps a lot more people get in because it is a lot of
Yeah.
money to invest, and it helps a lot of students. So we have a couple of financing options now. Beautiful.
Very cool.
Call script. This is the closing script, I think, that comes up. So you really won't need to go through this a ton, but just if you ever want to kind of see the structure of the calls, we have everything laid out here. If you're ever looking for like specific information, like the call times, if someone asks you and you're like, oh, I don't know when the master coach call times are, they're right here, or the certified coach call times. So if there's ever anything specific you need to know about one of the programs that somebody might ask in the DMs, the closing script is a good place to go because it's all laid out here. So you can always just kind of scroll through this and figure out the guarantees, or I don't know how much the program costs. That's all right here. The financing options that we work with are all here. So if there's ever anything specific to the program that you need, the closing script will be a good resource to go to. Is there anything you want to add so far?
We might have to change how we do our training for tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
We just got blocked out of Facebook for 3 days.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome for us. That's so nice. The free group or the new group?
The free group and the new Facebook, nobody responds to that still. So
Well, the new one we just started, so that one's kind of like dead. So, that's really cool. I love that. Sweet, we'll figure that out. That's awesome. Perfect. So bonuses, let's actually go back to the scripts. If you ever want to use these as like leverage in the DMs or anything, there are guarantees and bonuses. So we have a 3x your investment guarantee for all of our programs. So if you participate in Certified Coach or 10K Accelerator, you are guaranteed to make 3x your investment or your money back at the end of your 4 months. There are stipulations. You can't just like, sign up and then float around in space. You do have to like complete your course.
Actually do all the stuff.
Yeah, you have to do your outreach. You have to do, it's all laid out, but you have that. And then there are bonuses too. So there's always sign-on bonuses. So anytime somebody joins 10K Accelerator, we have the option to give them our sign-on bonuses, which would be Course for Life, the Nutrition and Training certification. They will get 3 months of pre-made workout plans via Trainerize. Well, they kind of come in like a PDF doc that they can edit and upload to Trainerize. And then they'll have like our Facebook lead gen mini course, for joining. With Master Coach for the 6-month program, they'll get their course material for life. They'll get the DM agency, which we need to like talk about because we're not really doing too much with that. We're a little slow.
Yeah.
They'll have an advanced nutrition and training. Ooh,
Who's frozen?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Sarah, you're frozen. Ah,
Ruh-roh.
that's okay. She'll come back. There's a bigger certification that's included in Master Coach. So in the certified coaching program, they'll have a nutrition and training accredited certification, but they'll have a massive one in the Master Coaching program. So they'll get that as well. In the 12-month, they get all of those same things, but then they also get a quarterly one-on-one with Chad for an hour at a time. And then they'll also get free ticket to NLCA Live, which is cool. So if you ever want to utilize those bonuses or guarantees, you've got them here.
Okay.
Perfect. Beautiful. All right. Payroll, we're going to skip on because that is Sarah's forte for sure. And then we'll come down here. So did you, that's okay. She'll come back. Calendly, have you used Calendly, right? For yourself?
Yes. And because I worked for the couple of other people, we did all, so I'm familiar.
Beautiful. So that's the same process we use for booking our calls here, all through Calendly. So you'll have all the closers Calendly links and this is something that we'll kind of remind you on, but I will send out what's called like volume distribution at the beginning of the week. So you'll know whose calendar you're going to book calls on first. When it comes to the closers, we go by performance. So whoever had the best performance the week before will be at the top of the list and it'll kind of go down from there for volume. But we do put a heavier focus on 24-hour turnaround time. So if Joey's number 1 for the week, but his next available call is not till like Thursday, go to whoever's got them, if they want tomorrow, which we always try to book within 24 hours, whoever is highest at that list for tomorrow's booking times, that's who you'll pick.
Gotcha.
But you'll have like reminders on that. So you'll have all of their links. Monday, did you use monday.com at all?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
For a little bit with Hannah, just a little bit.
cool. So at least you're familiar. So we do all of our tracking through Monday as well. Again, you will learn this, but the booking tracker looks like this. And the first time you're in Facebook with Sarah, she'll be able to, train you through here. But essentially when you go to like schedule a call, let's say you book somebody, you'll just add an item, you'll put their name. You'll be able to upload the screenshots of the conversation to the bubble. So we could put John. That's it. That's all we need, John. Upload the screenshots right to the bubble. So you'll be able to take screenshots of your conversation. We upload those there for a couple of reasons. One, we want to make sure that we're like looking through quality. We're asking all of the questions we're supposed to ask, but it also lets the closers get a little like insight onto like what their challenges are, what their goals are, what they've struggled with. To get back in, to get back into a good routine with them. So they'll be able to see how the conversation went. You'll update yourself as the DMer or whoever the DMer is. So if you're booking for someone else, you put them there. If you're not sure, just leave it blank. Sarah will check those. And then you'll add the closer. So it's going to be for me. You'll add the closer, whoever it's for, and then you'll go, okay, I got them from Chad's Instagram or wherever you found them from. We should have a button for, so they will just, be updated there. And then the program that you suggest. So certified coach is most people. This is like 98% of our team. If you have someone who's like, they're doing online well, they could be master coach, I can't quite tell. There's going to be like a cusp, like we just aren't sure, but they could potentially be a master coach candidate. Or if you're like, these people are making, lots of money, they got lots of clients, they're definitely master coach. Try to kind of like give the closers an idea of which presentation they're going to be leaning towards. And it's okay if that's not perfect, right? Because there's a lot of stuff you might not find out in the DM. So we'd say they're certified coach. The call date is going to be for the 15th and this is all done in Central Time. So if you book someone at 1 p.m. Pacific, make sure we change it 3 p.m. Central. So this is the hardest part. It's not hard, but it's easy to make a mistake here because there's going to be like original time and time zone are going to confuse. So let's say you have someone who books they're in Pacific time, they book 1 p.m. Pacific. We're going to say 3 p.m. CST, but they are in PST.
Yes.
So it may trip you up sometimes. So take your time here. Don't rush through. Just make sure we're really diligent on putting the right times on the tracker.
Yeah, that's such a simple mistake that shouldn't be.
Yes, but it is easy to trip you up. Getting to know the time zones can be crazy, especially if somebody like overseas or Hawaii and Alaska throw everyone off too. So book in Central Time Zone and then their actual time zone. Because what the closers will do, they'll come in and be like, okay, John, I have him at 3 p.m. tomorrow, but he's PST. His call's at 1 p.m. They'll see that on their Calendly too, but it's just a reminder that they don't send the wrong time zone to them as well.
Yeah.
And then the rest is pretty much for the closers. They'll say, did the call show? Did they close? If they did, they'll move them. If they rescheduled, if anything happens. This is mostly for the closers, but again, you'll get practice on this. This section is people who probably didn't show, who maybe need to be rebooked. So if you come in and do any follow-ups from here, Hunter didn't show, he's in limbo. Let's check the notes. We're going to pretend none of those happened. So Drew said he wouldn't be able to make the call, but wanted to reschedule. I'm trying to get him back on, but please get him rescheduled. So you could reach out to Hunter in the DMs and say, hey, I heard you missed your call. Let's get you rescheduled. If you do, then you'll change this. Then you would say, okay, I got them rescheduled to this day, this time, and move them back up to the scheduled section. But outside, you probably won't do too much with this stuff here. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the first couple times it might be a little bit, confusing, but once you get into it, it's pretty simple to navigate. We have the leads scheduled section. These are people who are booked for a call. If they closed, they get moved down here. If they didn't show, they're typically in limbo. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody who maybe, showed initially, but then didn't show to their follow-up call or needed to reschedule or something. So limbo means that they're floating in space that we need to get them back on the books. And then okay, I was like, that one's not yellow, but it should be. It shouldn't be. It's fine. The red section means not closed. This means either they maybe weren't a good lead quality. The closers couldn't close them for whatever reason, and we're going to follow up in a month to, a couple weeks, whatever it is. They'll put them in not closed if they're no longer on the schedule. But if they are still being worked on, the closers will move them to a hot list. So they have a list. Let me correct myself on that. They don't move them. They'll always stay here, but they're going to duplicate that person and add them to their hot list. So just because they're in not closed doesn't mean they're not going to eventually close or going to close in a couple days or a week. But if they no longer have a call booked, they do get moved to not closed.
Okay. Gotcha.
Now, as a DMer though, if you're like, dang, Stefano looked like a really great lead, I don't know why this person didn't close, feel free to check the bubble updates. The closers usually are pretty diligent about like detailing what happened. So this one didn't actually show to a call. Let me pick one that did. Let's see. Martini, great quality in the DMs. I expected that person to close. I wonder what happened. You can click on that and then see, you've got your uploaded screenshots. Here's the screenshots. And then Jesse is going to put in a bunch of notes about this person from the call. So you can see, okay, what happens? What are their goals? What are their challenges? And then what's going to happen next? So got rescheduled for a follow-up, and then she canceled the call. Her and her husband are trying to still work through everything. They don't, he's trying to get the three of them rebooked. That way you can kind of know the status of the people that you booked and what's going on. So this is probably going to be your main hub, this board right here. But we'll have a lot of, you have a few boards that you'll have access to. Beautiful. Sarah got,
oh yeah, she's been gone for a while now.
She said her internet just went down.
Oh no.
Never good. Awesome. All right. So WhatsApp, probably don't need to explain. You got it. You got it. Cool. Social media, we use that. We'll get you comfortable with all the accounts. Shouldn't be too crazy. You'll get trained one at a time. We'll be pretty good to go. Alrighty. So you are part-time, so we're working 20 to 25 hours, not 40. All good here. Attending the meetings, they're, like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is the meeting ID. If you ever don't know where to find it, you will also get reminders in the announcements chat, either the morning of or the night before. So every single night before, usually the night before, Sabrina will send out a reminder that says, don't forget tomorrow's sales team meeting on Jess's Zoom, and she attaches the links. You can always just go to that chat, and it's probably the most recent message because we have meetings so often. So
okay,
my Zoom, save it. Expectations for KPIs. So what we want to see, I do not expect you to be at KPI in a day. It's not going to happen. You have to learn the accounts. You have to get comfortable. So our goals for KPIs would be 0.1 call booking per hour. So 10% call book per hour. So essentially might take you 10 hours to book one call. That's not the goal, but it's okay if you're a little bit slow starting out.
Yeah.
Half of a call booking to call close. So 0.05 call booking to call close. So essentially
very low.
Yeah, very low. You don't expect a lot in your first 30 days. It's going to be a lot of training and getting to know the process. So not a ton of expectation. By day 60, what you'd be at 0.2 call booking per hour and 0.1 call books to call close. How did this just chug me? There we go. 0.25. Get rid of that period. Call booking per hour by day 90, 0.15 call book to call close, and then past 90 days. So we get up to the 90 days and beyond, we'd like you to be able to work up to 0.35 call booking per hour, 0.25 call book to call close. So beyond 90 days, this doesn't, this would be 4 or 5, 6 months in, we want you to be hitting, these higher KPIs.
Gotcha.
Now, that's going to come in waves. That's just the way that the world works. Do not put a ton of pressure on yourself to
hit that exact number.
We have Hannah, who's consistently at 0.45 call booking per hour, and she's one of our part-time DMers. She's a wizard basically in the DMs, but her call booking to call close is maybe around 0.2, not quite 0.25. That's completely fine. Alyssa, her call booking per hour is a little bit slower. She usually sits around 0.2, but her call book to call close is really good. So she's booking maybe fewer calls, but they're really high quality. So those are things that we'll look at as well. Now, if we're just call bookings are through the roof at 0.5, 0.6, and you don't close anyone, then I think we're just booking to book, right? So there's things that we want to look at there, but it's going to come in waves. Mission statement we did already. Cool. And then overall, just really in the first 90 days, we just want to see good communication. You don't have to be talking all day. That's not what we mean, but just hyping up your teammates, asking questions, being willing to, grow and learn and, get your hands dirty, get involved in everything. How everything works with payroll We get paid the 1st and the 15th. So you will submit invoices the 1st and the 15th by 11 a.m. Central. So we'll give you a full training on payroll too. You won't have to worry about that. But the 1st by 11 a.m. we want payroll submitted. Payroll gets processed same day and sent out, typically with we use Gusto, but typically with direct deposit, it can take up to 3 days for you to get paid into your account. So it's likely that you'll get paid officially like the 4th,
Yeah.
4th, and like the 17th, 18th. We submit payroll the 1st and the 15th. So on the 15th, you'll get paid from the 1st to the 14th. On the 1st, you'll get paid from the 15th through the end of the month.
Gotcha.
Questions on that? Beautiful. We'll have a whole payroll training, I promise. Scheduling, we will go through that next. Make sure this is the correct board because I just made a new board. Nah, it's not. I just made a new board. So how the schedule works. I'll invite you to this board if you don't have access, but yes, beautiful. Okay, cool. So how the board works, starting out, you will work the smaller accounts, the easier accounts to learn, and we'll kind of work up from there. So the first accounts you're going to learn are going to be ads and free group, LinkedIn, and TikTok. So those will be kind of like the first big ones. There's more coverage than this, but like translated. But essentially what we'll do, when somebody's booking in an account, I'll just show you one of the IGs because it's usually busier. You'll go in and how we do scheduling, we schedule every Sunday for the week to come. You'll pick your own schedule. We do kind of go in order on like performance. So who booked the most but closed the most calls like the week before will go first, second, third, fourth, and so on. So it'll be kind of like a hierarchy. But there will be a lot of opportunity for like working in the accounts that you're trained on. So most of the time, like the more training you have, the more experience, you'll work bigger accounts, but you're going to be in smaller accounts anyways. You're going to have plenty of opportunity to work whatever days and times you want to. So how it works, let's say Laura's going first. She's just going to come in and pick the days and times that she wants to work. You can't be in one of the IGs for more than 2 days in a row, just because they are really busy accounts. We want to make sure everyone has opportunity in all the accounts. You can't work for more than 2 days in a row in the same account because we want you to bounce around, get more experience. So Laura wanted to work 6 to 3. That's awesome. Aubrey came in, worked 3 to 6. Laura came back in from 6 to 8 because she's a crazy person and she wanted the light. So ideally, what we want to see is about 14 hours a day of coverage in NLCA and CHAD. So around 7 to 9 p.m. or 6 to 8 p.m., something like that. 8 to 10, but about 14 hours a day, Monday through Friday in CHADs. Monday through Friday, at least 5 hours a day set up in ads, because ads is a pretty busy account. VSL, we'll get into this, but ideally is 3 to 5 hours per day. A lot of times though, if you're like in ads, you're also working VSL. They just didn't put it on the schedule that they did. But we want to do that. So we're trying to get more adherence to this. But
what is VSL?
VSL is like a dial out one. So VSL stands for like video sales letter. And basically what happens is if someone sees like one of our ads that is connected to our VSL, where it just tells you like, this is NLCA, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and they fill out an application to find out more information from us, it comes to us in like a little spreadsheet. And then we get to call them and say, hey, this call or text. But VSL, essentially those applicants have said like, hey, I saw your video, I want more information about what you do. We call them, we try to book them for a call. Easy.
Gotcha. Okay.
WhatsApp community, we want at least about 3 to 5 hours a day of coverage here. Facebook group, probably 5 to 10, just because you also are working LinkedIn and TikTok. So 5 to 10 hours a day. A lot of times though, when you're in, probably not the Instagrams, those are a little crazy, but when you're working any of these smaller accounts, you can usually work a couple.
Multiple.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can kind of toggle between a few. I think Sarah's coming back. I just let her in. We'll see. But we will work with you on creating that schedule for your first couple weeks. So you probably won't have to put yourself on the schedule on Sunday, because your first like official training, girl, did you have to drive away to find internet? Oh no.
I tell you what, I hit the TDS guy and I said, okay, I see you at the box. People work from home. You cannot shut off the internet. He's like, there was a mouse in here that got to so-and-so address. I said, I don't care. I still work from home. We have this conversation monthly. monthly.
Yes, my apartment complex does monthly like tests on like the fire alarm system and stuff, and they always book it for like a Wednesday at like noon.
That's like,
And I'm like, perfect. I love that for me. Awesome. Like it could be anywhere between 30 minutes to 90. And I'm like, 30 minutes, I could take a little lunch break. 90 minutes though, now we're affecting the day. Like
Yeah.
crazy people.
He's like, he said, it's past noon. I figured all the noon meetings would be over. And I was like, people don't just have meetings at noon. Let's work with the time.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. So we're going through schedule. But essentially, Jillian, we'll work with you on creating your schedule for the first couple weeks. You can kind of like see the flow. So we'll say, all right, Jillian, it's your turn to book. You'll come in and work the accounts that you've been trained on. And then we'll kind of say, like, ideally, we want X amount of coverage for these days, but you can pick your hours, right? So you don't have to be on a set shift. So if you're like, Monday, I want to work like, you're going to work ads and VSL. We like 5 hours of coverage at least, but if you want to work, 5 hours, 5 days a week, or 4 hours, 6 days a week, however we structure it, you'd come in and say, okay, I'm going to work from 2 to 7 in ads and VSL on Monday. And then Tuesday, my schedule, I have something going on in the afternoon. So I'm going to work 9 to 1 in the morning, whatever we want to do. But just keep in mind, we can't obviously like take someone else off the schedule, right? So if someone picked a time, we'll probably pick a different time. So, but we'll work with you for the first few weeks on making sure you're comfortable, like booking your hours, but you do have flexibility. Obviously we don't want you working like 3 o'clock in the morning because no one's going to be on. That's not productive. That's crazy. We're also not going to be working at midnight because that's crazy. But, between normal business hours, I'd say are ideal for some of the smaller, the easier accounts, I would say. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Cool. Beautiful. All righty. Let's keep going. Perfect. So, all right, Sarah, to fill you in, we went through KPIs. We obviously went through mission statements, explained the schedule, which is perfect. Oh, that's okay. I will have you too, Sarah, if you're good, when we schedule her for her first training, go through payroll, like how to look at her invoice and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that and then show how to upload it and all that on Monday as well.
That works. Beautiful. And then the last would just be the community chat SOP. I mean, essentially perfect. What is happening in my life?
Every single link.
Oh my God. All right. Well, that's fine. We don't need to go over the SOP. We've already explained it, but essentially the community chat is going to be that WhatsApp group. So biggest thing there is just like utilizing that in follow-ups, utilizing that in really like leveraging the DMs. That's a resource we send when we book somebody. So like, hey, thanks for booking with us. You have your meeting on X day, X time with so-and-so. Would love for you to check out this link and ask any questions ahead of time. What we found is that the prospects who join that link and engage have a much higher rate of signing up because they were able to build a little bit of trust first. They got to ask some questions. They got to see a lot of faces in the community. It just makes us look like real human beings because we are, but it doesn't look like that behind an Instagram screen. So
yeah, no.
That is a really great resource to use for follow-ups. If someone's nervous about like scheduling with us, send them that link. There's a ton of communication in there. So it's usually a good spot to refer them to if they're apprehensive, hesitant, nervous, or they've booked, but just to build a little bit more trust. Great resource to send to them for sure.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Gotcha.
So what I want to do expectation-wise, I don't know why I stopped sharing my screen, but we'll go through that. I'm going to give you a little bit of homework, and then I am going to email you too this call recording as well as this whole sheet so you can see what we did. I'll send you a little recap on everything, but homework for you. Week 1 training, this will be scheduled for Monday unless y'all want to do something this weekend, but we can absolutely just plan Monday. You'll learn ads and the free Facebook group. What day is it today? Friday? We should be live again on Monday, right?
Hopefully, yes. And I'm going to ask Sarah not to be in there so we can at least do our training in there. And then if we can keep going, I'll have her keep going.
If not, we can just focus on ads and then pivot to like WhatsApp or VSL, something else. That'd be perfect. Cool. So you'll learn ads and the free Facebook group first. Not that they're usually just easier accounts to learn. There's just not as much consistent chaos happening. So we'll start there. What we're going to do, that'll be ideally Monday if you've got some time. I need to edit a lot of this. But in the meantime, I would love for you to watch a couple client testimonials and I'll lay this out on your email, but it'll just kind of like help you understand how things are going with our new programs. Watch at least, I don't know, 3. They're usually like a minute to 3 minutes long, so it's not going to take anything crazy. I would go over the DM script. I'll send that over too, just to kind of start reviewing it, looking through everything, and then you'll obviously get into it officially on Monday. So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself to like remember a script. You'll probably never like memorize the whole thing.
Yeah.
Just utilize it. So, mindset coaching call. This is a recording of one of our mindset calls that we do with the team. It's usually good to just like kind of understand Lacey. She's our mindset coach. Really good to just like kind of get you in a good headspace too. So we have like a mindset coaching call if you would be willing to watch that over the weekend.
For sure.
Yeah. And then after you get officially like your first hands-on training, then we'll kind of go over end of day reporting, understanding how to update like the social media tracker, things like that. You'll go through all of this on Monday with Sarah, and then payroll as well. But in the meantime, I would say, let's get you into some client testimonials, understanding the prospective client, just who we coach to and who we're, speaking to and why, and then watch the mindset coaching call. And then Monday, y'all can jump into the accounts and start training. So yeah, let's get into it. Sarah and Jillian, timeframes of availability on Monday. What do you guys have open for that?
I think I'm double checking just to make sure I don't forget anything, but I'm pretty sure the 17th. Yeah, no, I'm free all day long. So whenever is best for you.
Perfect. Let's tentatively do right before the meeting. So the meeting's at 11. So if we can do like 10 to 11.
Okay.
Would that work?
Yeah.
And then I will let you know for sure on Monday, depending on what Sarah puts in for her hours, or I'll let you know on Sunday because we put our hours in on Sunday for the next week. So just in case.
Just tell Sarah not to book at that time, so that way you guys can just have it on the schedule and we don't have to change anything. Just let her know we're going to be training from that time and she can book outside of that. But I don't want her to like get in there early and like
mess it up.
Yeah. So just let her know not to. But if y'all can plan like 10 to 11, I think we could spend about maybe 15. And if we need more time on Monday too, just you might need an extra bit of time to go over like payroll, the social media tracker, end of day, because that'll all be part of Monday too. So maybe even if you guys want like an hour and a half, or you do like an hour and then later on do like another hour or something, that's up to y'all. But just whatever time you think you need. I think we might want an hour of time in ads and Facebook.
Yeah, probably, because we're going to be hands-on, we'll probably want to do 2 hours. So maybe if we do 9 to 11, if that works for you, that way we can do the training. Yeah. We'll go over payroll and that stuff first, then we'll do the training. And then I want to get you in with strict hands-on. Sorry, there's a tractor coming by. Okay. And then you'll be able to have any questions as well. And after the meeting, if you want to jump back in again for some more hands-on or anything, we'll work that around there.
Okay.
So does 9 to 11 work for you?
Yeah, that'll be perfect. I'm putting it in my calendar right now.
And then Sarah, just send Jillian an invite with your Zoom link, and then you guys will be good. And I can pop into if y'all want me to. But we'll go over payroll. Then we'll get you into both of the accounts, ads, and Facebook group. Get some hands-on training, get into it, and then Sarah can show you the social media tracker and how we do like end of day and stuff like that, projections. That's all part of that little bit of training. Okay, cool.
Over the weekend, can you log into Facebook? Does Jillian have access to Krieger, or not Krieger, the Keeper?
She should have access to everything. Yep. Sabrina did that yesterday, so she should be good to go.
So I'm in all the Instagram accounts, so if I need any like approval to log in from my location into Facebook, I'll need that. Because I'm only in Instagrams, but I have access to all the passwords and stuff.
Okay, so if you can log into Facebook, because I do believe you'll need approval, that way we are set and good to go for Monday. Okay, and I believe that comes to my phone, so we're good.
Before, I'm not trying to confuse anybody. With us being action blocked, is that going to be an issue? Or should she wait till Monday to log in? No, that's not an issue.
Okay, that won't be an issue. It's literally just sending the messages.
Beautiful. Perfect. Okay, cool. So yes, if you want to get into Keeper and then log into Facebook, we can get you into everything else on Monday.
Okay.
Beautiful. Awesome. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
Thank you. You too.
I'm excited for you. Welcome. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.